Pirates of the Caribbean is one of the most successful and highest-earning box office franchises for Disney over the past 20 years. But many fans of the film cannot imagine Pirates of the Caribbean 6 without beloved film star Johnny Depp. So stay tuned, don't go away, because today we're looking at whether or not Johnny Depp will be in Pirates of the Caribbean 6, what this will all mean for the film. First up, is it true that Johnny Depp will not be returning as Captain Jack Sparrow? We're about to find out. In 2020, rumors surfaced that Disney would be blocking any possibility of Johnny Depp returning to the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Back in 2017, he was removed from the project Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by Warner Brothers. Okay, so why is this happening? In short, Johnny Depp is being canceled because certain aspects of his private life have come to light. In a civil trial with ex-wife Amber Heard, a judge ruled that Heard's defense team had proven 12 out of the 14 counts of alleged violence at the hands of Depp. It's clear from court records that the couple had an extremely tumultuous, unhealthy, and at times violent relationship. Because of the recent Me Too movement that sprang up a few years ago, it's literally open season on male misconduct against women, and public figures such as Depp, Harvey Weinstein, James Franco, and Danny Masterson are now reaping what they've sown and paying a price for their previous conduct. Because of their actions, these men may have destroyed their careers. Clearly, production companies and film studios are not going to want to put leading men in multi-million-dollar studio films who've likely committed crimes against women, as this would mean widespread public condemnation upon the release of the film, drastically reduced profits. Next up, do some people still support Johnny Depp? Let's have a look. Famed film producer Jerry Bruckheimer is one of the people who has chosen to publicly stand by Depp despite his being canceled. Disney did confirm that actress Margot Robbie and screenwriter Christina Hodson will be joining the team to work on Pirates of the Caribbean 6, with actors Orlando Bloom as Will Turner, Keira Knightley as Elizabeth Swann, Kaya Scodelario as Karina Barbosa, Brenton Thwaites as Henry Turner, and Kevin McNally as Joshua Gibbs. Disney also confirmed that it hired Pirates of the Caribbean writer Ted Elliott, who wrote and directed Chernobyl, and filmmaker Craig Mazin to work on the story aspects of the film. Margot Robbie will star as the female lead in Pirates of the Caribbean, which will take the franchise in an entirely new direction. At the time of this recording, there's no official release date for Pirates of the Caribbean 6. It's also been revealed that Pirates of the Caribbean 6 will come in the form of not one, but two reboot films, and that none of the films will be a continuation from the fifth film, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. The first of the two films will be written by Craig Mazin and Ted Elliott, and will not include the appearance of Jack Sparrow, the character famously portrayed by Depp. According to producer Jerry Bruckheimer, the goal of the two reboots will focus on entirely new characters. Like the first reboot film, the second film will create a fresh start for the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. That'll feature mostly new characters and stories, with star Margot Robbie taking the lead. Up next, can fans of the franchise imagine Pirates of the Caribbean without Johnny Depp? Let's take a look. Many fans can't even begin to imagine a Pirate of the Caribbean movie without Johnny Depp, and given his mesmerizing performances as the drunken, well-meaning pirate, it isn't hard to see why. However, after Johnny Depp lost his legal battle in British courts against his ex, Amber Heard, his personal romantic relationship has taken a heavy toll on his professional life and career. Recently, actor Kevin McNally, who played Captain Jack's first mate, the character Mr. Gibbs, spoke with members of the media and said he didn't know about the two upcoming films. McNally said, "If there was, me and my bank manager would very much hope that Mr. Gibbs was a part of it. I personally don't see how you would do a Pirates movie without Mr. Gibbs." You have to remember that the last two movies, although they did brilliantly worldwide, weren't quite so financially successful domestically in America as the first three, so that would be a consideration for them as well. It's clear that McNally would love to reprise his role as Mr. Gibbs, but would like to do it alongside Depp's character Jack Sparrow. McNally further added, "I don't think anybody's suggesting that anybody else plays Jack Sparrow. I think they're talking about other characters, and that seems perfectly reasonable to me." Stay tuned, don't go away, because we're bringing you everything you need to know about the upcoming Pirates of the Caribbean 6. Next up, what do we know about the plot of Pirates of the Caribbean 6? Let's dig a little deeper. There have been no details released about the plot of Pirates of the Caribbean 6 because the project is still in the early stages of development. All we know is that there will be a female-led storyline. Reports do indicate, however, that producers are not at all interested in continuing the storyline of Pirates of the Caribbean 5. Sean Bailey, the Disney chief of film production, said that his team wants to bring in new energy and vitality to the franchise, and that Disney will use the reboots to hit the restart button essentially. Because the production team wants to explore fresh new avenues and abandon old themes, one fan of the franchise had an idea of what the plot may contain and divulged the following information on social media. Keep in mind that this is fan theory, was developed prior to Depp being cancelled, so maybe we can omit the character Jack Sparrow with that of Margot Robbie's character, who's still yet to be named. According to the fan, the Turners are in trouble and require help from a hero. The fan also suspects the return of Angelica, a beautiful but dangerous pirate who turned all of Jack Sparrow's previous enemies and closest friends into zombies, which means that Mr. Gibbs would be a zombie in the newest film. Angelica previously turned Hector Barbosa and Salazar into zombies as well, and Calypso takes possession of Sansa with plans to overthrow Poseidon after the trident is put back together. Davy Jones is resurrected by Poseidon, who will not be satisfied until Henry becomes the one to ferry souls at sea. Meanwhile, Elizabeth and Karina head to Shipwreck Cove to find a way to stop Poseidon. Also, according to the anonymous fan, Pintel and Regetta will also be in the newest film because a zombie Barbosa kills them. What do you think of this fan theory? Is it plausible or way off? Up next, did a song about Blackbeard inspire the legend of Davy Jones? And if so, could this hint at what we can expect from the plot of Pirates of the Caribbean 6? Let's dig deeper. Davy Jones' story in Pirates of the Caribbean was inspired by the Blackbeard legend. When the first film in the franchise was released in 2003, expectations were low for a film based on a theme park ride, and there hadn't been a successful pirate movie in decades, so people were skeptical. But in the supernatural pirate film was a smashing success and launched a billion-dollar franchise in Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest. Davy Jones is a major part of the series, and if you recall, the seeds of Jones' tragic backstory were planted into the narrative long before Jones first appears in the films. In Pirates of the Caribbean: At World's End, Jones betrayed his lover and the sea goddess Calypso, Tia Dalma, played by actor Naomi Harris. While speaking about the film, screenwriters Ted Elliott and Terry Rosario discussed their creative influences for the films, which included Davy Jones and the supernatural Flying Dutchman. One such creative influence was the song about Blackbeard's method of recruiting sailors. The song was incorporated into Pirates of the Caribbean: At World's End with a performance of Hoist the Colors. Finally, some believe that the writers of the newest film will be inspired by Davy Jones's character again when working on the two reboot films. Ted Elliott, the principal writer on the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, says that the myth behind Sing a Song of Sixpence remains a major influence and will likely influence the plot of Pirates of the Caribbean 6. Elliott said, according to legend, when Blackbeard arrived in a port, his men would sing this song to alert people nearby that he was looking for a crew. Each verse contained a secret message about serving Blackbeard. The reference to sixpence was supposedly the daily payment sailors would receive for surprise attacks on passing vessels. Our latest project will have elements of this interwoven in the plot. So even though producers want to take the franchise into a new direction, it seems as though the writers will still rely on old stories and legends when formulating the storyline for the two new reboots. That's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for watching until the end.